Hey, we're so happy to be back. I'm back with Boris Czyttrich, a friend of mine. And Boris, how did we meet? Do you remember?
I think it was like 2 years ago on a dating site. Then we lost the contact, and I guess then I see you again on Facebook somehow.
Right. I think that's right. Yeah. So then first we met on a dating site, then we met on Facebook, then we met on another dating site.
Yeah, correct.
And that was after I had called you and said, hey, just so you know, because I moved from Miami Beach to Coral Gables. Now I was in Boca, and I just wanted to reach out to him and let him know that I'm here. And, just in case we had anything in common that we could, work together or anything like that or anything. I wasn't really looking for a boyfriend at this point, but I just wanted to see how we could work together. And I remember you told me you had a girlfriend.
Yeah, this time I had. Yeah, that's correct.
Was that when now tell your story. Who is Boris? Tell us, who is Boris? You're obviously not from here. Where are you from?
Okay, I'm originally from Germany. From there, you guys can hear my broken English. I'm now here around 5 years. I met an Italian-American woman. She was living in West Palm Beach. To make the story short, we came together. We got married. Everyone in Germany told me I'm crazy to leave my life, my good job, a good life, and come to the United States. But I did for love.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out. After around 3.5 years marriage, we got divorced. And I decided to stay here.
Great. What a wonderful story. Wow. And so how long, was that when I contacted you, when I called you on the phone? Were you still in that relationship?
No, this was after. We met after my divorce.
Okay. All right. So, and now you're working with cars, right?
That's correct.
And so I wanted this man to come on this show because I know the followers that I have on my Being Tracy Facebook page love the cars that I'm putting out there, the cars that I'm seeing. I'm seeing like the most luxurious cars I've ever seen before. You're going to hear a blog that I'm going to read later today, which is like the most amazing car I'd ever seen was a Lexus. And this man thought his car was amazing, and I called him Mr. Lexus. So if you were following my blog at that time, I have quite a few blogs that I wrote while I dated him, and they're all about Mr. Lexus. But anyway, what kind of cars do you deal with, Boris?
Okay, we are at H-Cracker Lux. Just to explain a little bit about H-Cracker Lux, it's family-owned. The owners originally from Armenia, Canadian. We have a group, in our group of companies, a lot of different car dealerships, like Nissan, Infiniti, and also other car dealerships. And H-Cracker Lux, we're selling the most expensive cars. We have an inventory from around $80 million currently. We're selling everything from Rolls-Royce, Bentley. We had a Bugatti.
Did you sell it?
Not myself, a colleague of mine sold, but we're selling many Lamborghini, everything that you can imagine.
I've taken a picture of a couple of Bugattis that I've seen recently at Meisner Park. And when he showed me the cars he was going to bring here to show you, I said, but what about a Bugatti? Don't you have a Bugatti? Like, I want one that costs like $3 million. Like, that's a really good car up here to show. He said, well, they only have one. So we didn't want to get you all excited if it was going to sell, and obviously it did. So that's pretty amazing, though.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing. I mean, the cars which we have in our showroom, sometimes a client look for a specific car, Bugatti or whatever. We can buy everything out of our network. So even it's physically not in the showroom, we can get it for you. It's no problem because we are a very big and powerful dealership.
Wow, that's amazing. Now tell me, where did these cars come from? Are they new? Are they pre-owned?
We are selling many cars. For example, just a few days ago, I sold a 2023 Porsche 911 Turbo S. With 130 mileage, so technically brand new. We get those cars out of our network, and we have, because we are many years in the market, we do nationwide business, so we have many private collectors who call us, who is telling us, look, I want to sell this one, I just ordered it, I got already tired of it because I get 5 new cars, so we in exchange with private collectors enter our network.
Wow. Now tell me, what cars did you bring here to show us today?
So today I brought you Lamborghini Hurricane STO. It's a 2022. I don't know if you can see some pictures. Yeah, this one, it's a purple one. It looks purple one. but it's called Viola color 30. That's the edition of this car. And this car has a price tag of $409,000 plus fees and tax. And it's a super sports car, a race car. It's a race car which was made legal to drive on the road. Some technical details. It has a V10 engine on a 5.2 liter with 640 horsepower. You can imagine if you sometimes, also give you an example. Some clients, especially sometimes the woman, they ask, why should my husband drive such an expensive car? You go only from A to B. But, frankly, the difference is when you sit in this car, you feel the emotion, you will change your thinking. It's the same if you talk about you go swimming, but you never get wet. You have to feel it.
So to put this in perspective, Boris, later in the show, I'm going to be reading the market minute, and the real estate market is what I'm concerned about. And if the median price is right about there, where this price of this car is, correct?
That's correct.
So this isn't just for any old guy. He unless he wants to live in his car. Unless that's all he's got, he's going to pay all of his money and live in his car. Who is your typical buyer?
Okay, we are technically we're working with the 1% of the people. The 1% who can afford those kind of cars. Majority of the buyers are cash buyer. They don't do finance. I mean, we also offer financing, leasing to buy, but majority is cash buyers.
Of course. Wow, that's amazing. What else did you bring?
We bring also a 2022 Ferrari F8 Spider.
Oh, Ferrari. Spider.
The car is in the $500,000 price range plus fees and tax. And also a very unique car.
Now, how many different types of Ferraris are there?
There's multiple cars out there.
Yeah, because I've heard of the Spider, and then I've heard of, you're saying the Ferrari Spider. Is that what the Spider is? It's a Ferrari always?
Yeah, so the Spider means it's a convertible.
Oh.
They call it convertible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I'm learning.
Yeah, me too.
I'm learning about these amazing cars that I see out there out my window in Meisner Park, Boca Raton.
Yeah, myself's the same. I'm learning every day. Many clients, I have to admit, they know more than myself about specific cars because they study them their whole life. And it's a very interesting job, I have to admit.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So what else do you have for us?
And I also have a very special car. It's a 2022 Lamborghini Aventador. It's called LP784 Ultimate. This is we have the normal Lamborghini Aventador, but this model, the LP784 Ultimate, is the highest version.
Look at that!
And this one has
amazing.
A V12 engine, 6.5 liter, with 769 horsepower. It's the fastest Lamborghini which they ever made.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So, geez, like in miles per hour, how many is that?
It go fast. You will get definitely a ticket for this.
Are all of these cars, like I hear all these, whenever I'm in my apartment, I hear outside when they're on the road, these really loud noises, motors. Do they all have these loud motors?
The majority of them, yes.
Wow.
Some of them, many of those cars, they have, for example, the Porsche, they have a button inside the car. You can make it loud, or you can make it smoothly.
Okay.
I tell always my clients, if you want to piss off your client, you leave it loud,
Yeah.
If you want to upset your neighbors.
The neighbor, that's what I was thinking, the neighbor. Yeah, the clients like it, right?
Yeah, not the clients, the neighbors.
They're impressed. They want everybody to look at their cars. Is that right?
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so why should someone buy a car from you instead of the manufacturer?
Well, this also, we have many cars. If you want to buy them directly from the manufacturer, for example, some specific models from Porsche, you can buy only if you're a VIP client at Porsche. If you decide to buy them, you don't get them immediately.
Wow, that's what you told me the other day. You said you have to get put on a waiting list, right?
Yeah, or for many new models, when they're coming out, there's like a waiting list, 1-2 years.
Wow.
When you come to us, we have them. You pay a little bit more about sticker price, but you can take them immediately home. You don't have to wait 2 years.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, is there anything else that my listeners should know about H Greg or you, or
Yeah.
how you can help them with the cars?
So H. Greg Lux, also to let you know, guys, we work nationwide. Around 40% of our business is nationwide. I just sold a Porsche to a client in El Paso in Texas. Some people feel a little bit scared because they don't can see physically dealerships. There's many scams outside. We are a long time in the market. We're moving a lot of inventory. You just can read the Google reviews. Or my recent client, he made a FaceTime to make sure everything is real. We take your trade in. We are very flexible, and we want to win your business.
Yeah.
And to, the majority of my clients, they buy again and again and again because they made the
They keep
7-star
coming back
customer
to you.
service experience.
Exactly. Now, how do you find the specific cars that you sell?
My boss is very talented, and he's looking in the network. He get contacts from private collectors. So there's different income where he can buy those cars, and also on the auctions.
Great. Oh, that's so interesting.
We have a big checkbook. So for us, it's easy to buy cars.
Oh, you pay cash for them.
Yes.
Then for sure. Oh, that's good to know. Well, see, if you're struggling in the market right now and you just happen to have an extra Lamborghini out in the back, and you can reach out to Boris here. And Boris, do you want to give your contact information right now?
Yeah, that would be great. So if you want to contact me, either you call the dealership H. Greg Lux and you ask for Boris, or my cell phone number is 954-830-4344. You just send me a text message or give me a call, and we go from here.
Oh, I hope you don't get a barrage of calls from all over America like I did, all over the world like I did when I put my number out there. That's not going to happen again. But anyway, so I want to share this blog that I wrote. I shared it with Boris the other night, and he was like, "Oh, tell me the rest. He's like, "That was so funny." And I was like, "Nope, I'm not going to tell you the rest." So even Boris is waiting to hear the end of this, how this ended. But I had a date. Now, I've been reading back through my blogs that are called Being Tracy, and that's where this page came from. I was sharing too much information on my personal page of Facebook, hearing it from my kids, from my family business. They were like, too much. So then I asked, I started writing these blogs, and I spoke to one of it was an advertiser in the American Chiropractor magazine, someone who could offer to make me a blog page. And he said, but we're going to have to come up with a social page for you from the people that are going to come off the blog page. So I asked everybody on my Facebook page, my personal page, what should I call it? And they said, call it Being Tracy. There were a couple of other alternatives, but this was the best one that everybody really loved, was call it Being Tracy, because that's what it's about. Being Tracy, the struggles I go through, the trials, the triumphs, the inspiration, and the funny things that happen to me that I either want to happen to you or don't want to happen to you, so I got to tell you about it. But anyway, this date with Mr. Lexus was quite memorable. I actually was reading over him this morning. I wrote 5 blogs with this guy. And the first date, we met also on a dating site. It was Bumble. I shouldn't probably say that, but it was Bumble. But anyway, after my first date, I found out he drove over an hour to come see me, which that was monumental because I lived in South Beach. A lot of people didn't even want to drive 20 minutes to come see me if they lived outside of Miami. So he came from Hollywood. And during, prime traffic time on a Friday, and drove like over an hour to see me. He was 2 years younger than me. He had 1 daughter. At that time, she was 13, so that was 5 years ago. Now she's 18. He's a very attentive dad. It was all about his daughter. Successful business owner, beautiful ex-wife, was a lawyer. Ex-wife is what he told me. Married. He's been married for 17 years. I was married for 17 years as well. He dressed super nice. He ran 3 miles 4 days a week. So he kept in shape. He was athletic. He has 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's. He was smart, seems fun, and liked to travel. So I was like, this could be a good match. He's super tall also. I think he was like 6'3". Anyway, so that was the first date. Okay, everything went fine on the first date. But then a couple issues came up. On the second date, my dates with him started with him sending a black car for me at 3:15 p.m. When I lived on South Beach, I wanted to get off the island by 3:30 if I was going to travel, especially on the weekend, because the traffic was crazy. And so I told him, look, I got to get out of here by 3:30 if we're going to meet. Like, he wanted to meet around 5. And so he sent a black car for me because this time he wasn't going to come for me. He had to work. And the plan was to take me to his house to meet his maid, see his house, and then take me to his favorite happy hour to meet his friends. All of which sounded great to me, as I had been a little apprehensive because, one, I'm telling all my friends about all these dates I'm going on. One of them, my friend said that he thought it was strange that Mr. Lexus had wanted to use cash if we were going out to dinner and on date 1, so his office wouldn't know where. And if he was going out after, the dinner he did put on his credit card, but when he went out afterwards, he wanted to use cash. So my friend kind of thought that was strange. And then my second friend always wanted to do background checks on these guys if I really started to get serious with somebody, or there were a lot of questions that were coming up. And she said in her background check she couldn't find any divorce decree. Anyway, so he sensed my discomfort and added this to our Friday night plan to ease my concerns. His maid, Gina, answered the door when I got over there and only spoke Spanish. She's from Peru. So having lived in Panama for 10 years, I was able to communicate with her and ask her how long she'd worked with Mr. Lexus, how she liked him, and if there was a spouse around. All of these answers came back positive. She thought a lot of Mr. Lexus and said that his wife had never spoke to her when she was there and that they had been separated for quite a long time. Mr. Lexus was impressed by my Spanish conversation with Gina and that she and I clicked immediately, although he didn't know what we were talking about. I had to be honest with him and let him know what my friend had found out in her background check of him. So he was honest back, he said, that although his wife was a lawyer and maybe they had been separated since July, which was last month, he had taken a lot of shit from her until then in their relationship, as she is a lesbian, and would have to see where they were in the divorce. Mentioned that being the oldest of a family of 5, one of his brothers was in jail after passionately killing his fiancée after coming home early and finding her having sex with his best friend. Ha ha! He laughed and said, wow, I'm surprised your friend didn't find that out. So I noted that insane jealousy runs in his family. After one vodka drink at his house, getting the grand tour of the 5,000 square foot house on 2.5 acres, with the rock waterfall pool and jacuzzi. I love waterfalls. Gina left, and I requested that we get to happy hour because I wanted to meet his friends. I wanted to get out of that house being in there with him alone. So next he drove me in his 2018 Lexus, which was new, remember, to Big Al's, a sports bar, his favorite hangout, where everyone knew him and all told me what a great guy he is. We had one more vodka there, but nothing to eat because he said it is fried food. He didn't eat fried food. I love the atmosphere and all the positive energy from great people. I was meeting and making friends with a few great girls who seemed to know him until he made the comment, oh no, are we going to have a threesome tonight? Aren't we? And I was like, what? I'm like, where did that come from? He said something like, well, all these girls really love you and you seem to love them too. And just then, a 40-year-old girl came up to me and met me. She looked at me and with disbelief and said I was beautiful. My eyes, my skin. All right, side note. In his relationship with his wife, he had a few threesome situations, which he had told me left him feeling uncomfortable because she had even wanted them, which is one of the reasons that now he believes she has gone the other way sexually. All right, well, I assured him I want a relationship with one man who only wants a relationship with me. Okay, with this being said then, he decided that he needed to get me out of there ASAP, and we went to make our 7 p.m. dinner reservation. He said that we may be done before the 10 p.m. live music and dancing he had planned for us, but if this happened, then we could just gamble in the casino. It was the Hard Rock Casino we were going to. He drove well over 100 miles an hour to get us to the Hard Rock Casino in record time, a smooth, fast drive in his new car. Dodging through cars on the highway, he masterfully drove like a race car driver. I wasn't scared, but I did say a quiet prayer under my breath for safety. Mr. Lexus told me that he is a prize poker player at the place we were going, and a couple of years ago, he even won $60,000 pool that he played. He told me that he used to spend a lot of time there and was very well known. So we pulled up to the Hard Rock Casino, and he got out, greeted the valet like he knew him, introduced me, slipped him a tip, and pointed out that there were only a number of spots right out in front of the casino and that his car would be kept in one of them. I thought that was very impressive. We walked into the restaurant. It was named Kuro. I don't know if it's still there. My first time. He was excited to show me he had a surprise for me. We walked in, and they showed us our table, a round booth with a card on it, a card about this big. And he picked the card up and showed it to me, but he didn't seem happy that I didn't cherish it. Like I didn't grab it and say, oh, I want to put it in my purse. He gave it to me, but then when I didn't immediately put it in my purse, he said that he was going to keep it. I told him, hey, look, I took a picture of it. I took a picture of it. I think it's really nice. Thank you. Dinner was completely delightful. He asked for the best bottle of champagne before we got there, and then they were ready to pour it as soon as we sat down. He asked, and he loved a picture that they took of us with our arms around each other holding the champagne. And then they gave us menus, but instead, he told them to bring us what the chef recommends. This was really impressive, I thought. The food was terrific, and I was stuffed. We shared an entree that he brought us, and the waiter brought us. They bought us like 7, okay? It was a 7-course dinner at least. I lost count, but I was too full by the time they brought us the last selection of fish, which was amazing. I had to try to find some room for the last couple of bites. I had no room for dessert, but then they brought us a plate to share anyway. He took a picture of me trying this amazing caramel with edible wrapping paper dish, which was amazing. Anyway, we finished up, and then he ordered us 2 Don Julio tequila shots, and we decided to move on to the casino. Instinctively, I said goodbye, then I started to get, I'm jumped ahead, I'm sorry. We finished, he ordered us 2 shots of tequila. Next, we met an interesting couple in the casino bar and mixed. I took part of this out because I thought it was a little bit wordy, but what happened was we met this other couple. Right away, Mr. Lexus said, hey, we'd like to sit down at the bar next to you. Is that okay? And they were like, no, it's not okay. And then he said, oh, well, okay, well, come on, we're going to go sit over there. And they said, nah, we're just kidding. We'll buy you a shot. Come on, we're going to buy you a shot. So then they bought us another shot. And then shortly thereafter, Mr. Lexus said, okay, I got to go to the restroom. He excused himself. I started getting worried after a while because he was gone for a super long time. And then he finally came back, and he was super disturbed, and he looked physically ill. Instinctively, I said goodbye to the nice couple and started heading towards the door with Mr. Lexus. He told me that he could not stop throwing up in the bathroom and he needed to leave. And the whole way we're running out to the valet to get the car. He's going like this. I mean, like, I've never seen anything like that before. Like, it was frightening in a comical way, but I didn't want to laugh at him because there was obviously something really wrong with him, and I was really worried. So anyway, he called me a black car to take me home, walked me out to the car like a gentleman, the whole time looking as though at any minute he could regurgitate, which means throw up, Boris. That means throw up.
Okay.
Honestly, I've never seen anything like it, and it was so strange and upsetting. Things had gone from wonderful to really upsetting in just a matter of minutes. I couldn't imagine what he had eaten, which could have caused this change. We had eaten the same thing. We drank the same things, and I felt fine. So then I started, there were a lot of messages in here that I put on my blog of him writing me and apologizing to me, and me writing him back and saying, look, I don't think you're ready for a relationship. Clearly your body is like, there's something going on with you subliminally in your body because you can't have a relationship with me because, that happened to you tonight. Like, your body's trying to tell you something. Anyway, the hour drive to get there turned into closer to 30 to 40-minute drive home in the black car, and I got back at just around 10. I got home, sent him a message to let him know. I went straight to bed and woke up to a barrage of texts, okay, the next morning. He had been texting me all night, it looked like. Okay, turned out he found out after he had to go in for testing. I was worried that there was going to be something wrong with me now. He said, look, no, nothing's going to be wrong with you because we didn't share the same toilet. Because it turned out he got salmonella when he was in China, like the week before on business. And to apologize to me, the next morning, he sent me a chocolates-covered fruit basket, 24 roses, had arrived with a stuffed bear, which said, I love you. And the card said, Mr. Lexus wants to be forgiven and not forgotten. He was following my blog. He knew I was calling him Mr. Lexus. And he hated it that I would post pictures with his face scribbled out because he was really proud to be dating me. But anyway, it ended up by the 5th date. I mean, I don't have to go through and read you all of these blogs that I wrote. I realized that Mr. Lexus was still sharing a bed with his wife. And our last date was when we were at the Foxhole, a place in South Beach. We'd been walking around at different places, and the last place we went, he actually invited the bartender to join us. And I was like, I'm out. That's enough for me. That's enough. So anyway, that's the way it ended. And the lesson I learned, and I was telling, does that surprise you that's how it ended?
That surprised me, yeah.
Does it?
I saw the came in happy
That's
end.
the part I wouldn't read to him the other night. He's like, I want to see how it ends. What?
Yeah, right.
Well, I told him, I told Boris, I did tell Boris this. I learned the lesson that taking time to get to know people before you start a relationship or bed them is super, super important. Because as I found, I've been dating for 15 years, and you can get to know somebody, but it takes them a long time to you really, really get to know them. And you can find out whether that's actually something you want to get to know that well or not, right? Have you found that too?
That's right. It's correct what you say.
But have you had any experiences that were kind of like that? Anything like that? I mean,
something.
Because how long have you been single?
I'm now around. I'm divorced 2 years now. I mean, I had after last year a relationship. It didn't work out short. I made the mistake. I jumped too quickly into a relationship. So I should have made like you and take me a little bit time.
Maybe.
Sometimes, sometimes we're feeling alone. You want it immediately. But it should be better to wait a little bit and, like you said, to take your time. I
found that. Well, Boris has been such a gentleman in the time that I've known him. Like, we only really met in person a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, that's correct.
We always had an internet thing, kind of getting to know each other, and then, we maybe wanting to work together somehow with the cars or something like that. And so anyway, but I just want you to know this man is a total gentleman. I mean, I've only known him for like a couple of visits, but is there any, I feel like you can teach this class on what men can do to get a woman like me who has been through a lot of trials. Age 55, I've been through a lot of trials and challenges, and I'm really, really assessing who I get to know and who I get in a relationship with. The other night, can I tell them what you said? Because he said it'd be okay if I told you he has a crush on me. He has a crush on me, and he's been calling me every day, texting me every day, just to make sure I'm okay, make sure I had a good day. Super sweet, right?
Right.
And so then we met. He invited me for dinner the other day after I had a long day with meeting podcast guests that I've got coming up and everything like that. It was like a Sunday, wasn't it? Sunday.
Yeah, correct.
And he said, I'm already at Max's that you like to come to. I'm already having a drink. I'm waiting for you. And then I went over there and I got a meatloaf and you graciously bought it for me. And then you tried to hold my hand a couple of times. And then after that, what did you do?
And I remember you said to me, please keep a seat for me on the right side. So I was waiting, comes a lady, I have to tell you, it's a funny story also. So comes a lady, she was also attractive, so she wanted to take the seat. I said, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for my friend. I cannot give you the seat, otherwise I will be in trouble. Okay, she was laughing. She takes the seat next to the seat, which is for Tracy. And she started talking, from where you're coming, I hear your accent, I like your accent. So we had a little talk.
And she was beautiful. I saw her when I got there. She was beautiful.
And then her boyfriend come in, and the boyfriend looked at me, he looked at her, and he said, now you are single? He said to his girlfriend, and she stopped talking to me.
Single.
Yeah, single. Are you single now?
Singer. It sounds like you're saying singer. Now you're a singer. No, you're single.
No. He asked her if she's now single. And then the conversation stopped between us. It was only, frankly, just a normal conversation. Hello, how are you? Something like this. But the guy was jealous.
Yeah. And then the next day or later that night, he texted me and said, "I'm sorry I tried to hold your hand a couple of times."
Yeah.
Very, very sweet and gracious. And you know what? That's the way you've got to be with women who have quality women, independent women who really don't need a man, but want a man. We all want a man in our lives, right? We all want someone special in our lives. And the thing is, when you're more like Boris and pull back and patient and taking time to get to know the woman, I mean, that honestly makes the world of difference. I mean, because if you even read one of my blogs, like I've read here, you can see that a lot of the men out there they're not patient. They don't want, I mean, like women my age were like, don't men want to get to know you anymore? Like I went out with a guy a few weeks ago that, the thing was, he took me out. We had dinner. We had a great time. Actually, I put his picture up on Facebook, and Boris texted me and said, before we even met, Boris texted me and said, "Well, I see you have a girlfriend now, or a boyfriend now. Good luck. I see you've got someone you're in love with. Good luck." And I said, "Nope, hold it, Boris." I said, "I don't, because I had a great date last night, but we went out to breakfast this morning, and I'm over him." I told him, in my post on Facebook, I had said, I found someone, I'm going to give him a shot. And then I gave him a shot the next day. He was new in town from Philadelphia, getting his cable hooked up the next morning. So I took an Uber out to meet him. It was an internet date too. And then I had the Uber bring me back that night, and we'd had a great time getting to know each other. And then the next morning he said, he was going to get some breakfast. He invited me to get some breakfast with him. So I drove my car over there to get breakfast with him. He said afterwards, or in the middle of it, he might need to leave to get his cable hooked up. So we went to breakfast. We walked to breakfast. We started walking to breakfast. Then I'm like, how far away is this breakfast place? Like, it was super far. I'm like, how do you think we're going to get back to your house when the cable people get there? So then we went back, got his car, or my car, and drove it. It actually was my car. A Lexus. Anyway, and then we went in, we ordered eggs. When the eggs were not even back to our table yet, we had to go back because the Comcast people are at his place. And so we went back there. I was really patient. I ate a little bit of the eggs, but now they're runny, So I was like still kind of hungry. And so I just sat there, on the couch, looking at my phone, doing stuff while he's meeting with the Comcast people. And then we had decided we were going to go to Elbow Room, a place in Fort Lauderdale, which is really cool. But it turned out to be a rainy day then, too. And so by the time we got to Elbow Room, he said he felt sick. He thought it was the food. Like this guy, Mr. Lexus, if you read all these blogs, this guy got sick too a couple of times. But now he's saying he got sick. He wasn't sure how he got sick. And then so he said he had to go home immediately. But I could stay if I wanted to at the Elbow Room. And I'm like, what am I going to do? My car's at your place. I'm going to go home with you. I'll take my car, and then I'll go get something to eat because I'm hungry. I'll go back home, and I'll go to Meisner Park and get something to eat. And so on the way home, he decided, no, I don't want you to go to get something to eat by yourself. Please, I'll order you some. Do you like tacos? I'll order you tacos, and I'll order you shrimp tacos. Do you like tacos? Then he orders me shrimp tacos. I never wrote a blog about this because I decided I'm manifesting my future. So I don't want to manifest this stuff anymore. But this is what happens on the dating apps. It's crazy. Anyway, we get back to his house. He had gotten me to agree to him ordering me food. We would watch a movie or something like that. So then he ordered me food. I ate the food. And then he comes and sits by me over on my side of the couch. And he kept trying to kiss me. And I'm like, you said you're sick. Why are you trying to kiss me now? Come on. This is our second date now. You're trying to kiss me at your house. You said you're too sick to go to Elbow Room. Now, And then he gets up. He goes and sits on his side of the couch. I'm still watching the movie. I said, do you not like this movie? Do you want to watch something else? And then he gets up all of a sudden and announces he's going to go take a nap. And I'm sitting there on his couch, and I felt weird about leaving, like I just had eaten. Like, what am I going to do, eat and run? And so then I told a friend of mine this, and he said, well, you know what, Tracy? He wanted you to go take a nap with him. So that wasn't going to happen. That was not going to happen. So anyway, that's kind of the way that ended because, I mean, that's the way it is out there. But then when you meet such a gentleman as this, and then someone said to me, maybe the reason is because you're from a different country. Maybe they don't, maybe in America, men aren't taught how to be gentlemen. What do you think?
Probably it's a case. I did hear this a couple of times. Maybe hard to say. I mean, I can say nothing bad about the Americans. I'm living here. I like this country very, very much. But probably we grow up different. Maybe it's my personality. So hard to answer.
Anyway, nobody knows what's going to happen between me and Boris. Right now, we're just friends. And he calls me, what do you call me, your special friend?
Yeah, I'm your special friend.
He's my special friend. And so he's taking time to get to know me, which is amazing, and it's really nice, and it's really attractive. So anyway, but more on here now with the real estate minute that I've got. According to Forbes, August 24th, 2023, this is what Forbes put up. The national average 30-year fixed mortgage rate continued to push higher in the fourth week of August, rising to 7.23%. The week ending August 24th. The median existing home sale price also broke through $400,000 for the first time in 2023, hitting $410,200, the second highest price ever recorded. So see, you can buy, what was it, a Lamborghini?
Lamborghini Aventador, for example, yeah.
You can buy that, or you can buy a house here, right? So it's now the highest price. Okay, so now it's poised to surpass the June 2022 all-time high of $413,800 according to the National Association of Realtors. Meanwhile, existing monthly home sales dropped 3.3%, with all four major U.S. regions posting year-over-year sales declines despite high mortgage rates. The market remains as competitive as ever, thanks to strong demand coupled with tight inventory, supply, and due in part to those who purchased homes in recent years at record low interest rates who are staying put. These and other factors form a perfect affordability crisis storm that continues to sideline many aspiring homeowners. Okay, so as I said, I'm Tracy Bush Pate. I've got a livingtracy.kw.com is a great site that you can go to and find your next dream home. I'm with Keller Williams Worldwide, so if you live anywhere in the world, I can help you find an amazing Keller Williams realtor, the best one in your area to help you reach your real estate goals. And my number at my office is 561-245-4000. Okay, so please let them know you're calling from me, Tracy Bush Pate, and get your message to me, and I'll give you a call back. And please, I've had such a fun time interviewing you today, Boris. You've been...
thank you so much. I appreciate this.
You continue to be true and a wonderful citizen of the United States. Do you have your green card?
Yes, I do.
You're all set. Just for future notice. Like and subscribe to my channel. Join me on this journey. Follow me on all your social media platforms, and then you might be able to find my podcast, and also you know where to reach out to me if you can't. So please, I've got this page on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Being Tracy /. Anyway, I'm sending you all lots of love, and I really enjoyed interviewing you today, Boris, and thank you so much for bringing your cars. I'm not sure if we're going to find you a buyer today. I know that's your aspiration, but if we do, I'm sure they know where to contact you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So also in German language, I say thank you so much, Tracy, to be in your show today. So in my German language, it's called Vielen Dank, Tracy, dass ich heute in deiner Show sein durfte.
Oh, there were a couple of funny words that he wanted to say. I forgot about
funny
that.
Words. I
forgot about that. He told me, I know a few funny words that are German that you should ask me about.
I can tell you. So, for example, in your language, the word nurse, very easy, short word. In my language, it called nurse is Krankenschwester. Krankenschwester.
Well, there you go.
Or we have the second word. It's a helicopter. So helicopter is in German Hubschrauber.
All right. a
Now you
hoop
learn
show.
2 new words.
Wow. I mean, how did you? I mean, at what age did you learn English?
Well, when I was in the 4th grade, we started learning English, but I tell you the truth, I hated it. Because every time the teacher said to me, read something, and I couldn't pronounce, all the class was laughing about me, so I hated it. I was very bad. I did learn it when I first time was in the UK, and when I started to live a little bit outside of the country in other nations, so I learned it.
That sounds similar to my story, moving to Panama. It was ironic because in college, I actually changed my major from radio and TV. I always wanted to be an interview host. I always wanted to be. But in college, I changed my major from radio and TV to education because I had to take so much Spanish and I didn't want to learn any more Spanish. And it was so challenging, and I just finally changed my major. And then, as irony would have it, as luck would have it, I ended up moving to Panama, living there for 10 years, and I had to freaking learn Spanish to get by and to live the happiest life. I lived in Panama, and now I'm here in the United States. So anyway, thank you again, Boris. I loved talking to you today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. It was my pleasure.
Hey, I almost forgot, you guys. When you call Boris or reach out to him in any way, please don't forget to say where you saw his message here on Being Tracy, okay? We want to make sure that you get the best price and the best service from Boris and all of his people over there. Boris, what else should they do?
So if you call regarding of this, you will get also a $500 voucher on those 3 cars which I just introduced you. You can either call me or you can also contact Tracy. Anyway, it's coming back to me. And I would like to work with you and to sit you in your next dream car.
Yay! We both want you to get one of those dream cars. And then when you get it, I want you to drive it all around Meisner Park so I can see it and get a picture of it to put on my Facebook page. Anyway, thanks again, you guys.